Hey, this is KJ or eXiled. I'm back with part 2 of my PvT series. The first one looked at how almost all Terrans are doing their 2-base push to kill your third, and how to defend that without sacrificing your third base, or at least without immediately losing it. This one's going to be looking more so about what to do if you scout something other than one gas on your opponent's main. That's essentially what the video is. It's cheese defense. Now, there's very few one gas cheeses out there, so that's why it's pretty safe to say. Plus, your scout timing should be looking at the natural, making sure that everything looks like there's going to be a CC there. If you don't see it, then you can at least assume it. So I'm going to be loading up a replay, and it's called PvT versus Kill Your Nat strat. So I think we've all played against this build. It is none other than the one base cyclone build, the double cyclone build. Now, normally this is proxied. In this case, it is not. It is still effective, and there are ways to scout it, and there are ways to stop it. Now, just a warning. In this video, or in this replay, I did not handle this the best I could. I'll point out the mistake I made, and hopefully that will help you guys find your own mistakes in your replays. And also, this should be a pretty solid way to hold it. So, we're going to open the exact same we did last game. We opened one gate, expand every single PvT with your 15 probe, putting down your gas guys and expanding your opponent. Nothing really new to see here. And after full saturation, we are going to rally that probe right on over and take our nexus. Now, if you recall from the last video, if you watched it, if not, I highly recommend it. I say that we go one gate nexus every single PvT, and there's only a few exceptions where we cancel it. The reason I'm covering this is because this is one of the few exceptions. So we see the probe coming here, there's no nexus, and what we immediately see, I feel like, okay, so what we immediately see is double gas. So if you didn't catch the fact that there was a barracks with a refiner, with a reactor, and a factory, this is the three things you need for the cyclone. Then double gas is an immediate tell of factory or starport play. It doesn't need to be the cyclone. It could be the 1-on-1, but if you see double gas, they're going factory and starport. It's just how Terran works, right? So here, the reactor, factory, we still don't really know it's cyclone, but I think we can assume it's cyclone. This is such a early reactor. Usually they might want to get a marine to shoo you away, just make sure you can't see what they're doing. But this is so rushed. And it's great that you can scout it right away with the 15 gas scout timing. So obviously there's not going to be a natural. We know what we're going up against, and immediately, notice, cancel the nexus. We're going to be using those minerals to throw down another gateway. Of course, the pylon was going to go down anyway, and we should be focusing on fully saturating our gas as soon as possible. And again, another rule of thumb is don't die, right? So skipping anything here when we're about to be attacked, we know we're about to be attacked, would be causing us to put ourselves in danger, right? I have held this in the past, going nothing from here and immediately going robo, and then your immortal gets out just as the cyclones are coming. But I feel like there's a better way to do that. I feel like this is the best way to hold it. So we're opening standard mothership core. We're throwing down other gateways with the 3 gates. We threw down a pylon. This is going to be crucial. And the probe that threw down the pylon was the one that scouted the main, so it was already on the way. We don't want to be sending out any more probes. So notice no more probe production. We're just focusing right on tech. Now, I'm not going to lie. This expansion is very hard to take. And I could hold it, but I made one mistake here. I usually can hold this nexus against the cyclone. However, so basically what I do is I go 3 gate, Stargate, nexus, and then what you're hinging on is you're trying to get the militia core to stall until Void Ray comes out, or an Oracle, but Void Rays are better. Meanwhile, we're going Adepts. The max Adepts you want to go is 3, because that's what one-shots a Marine or an SCV, right? Anything more, it's not really useful early game. Like, say if he was going, say like a 4 racks Marine, you would still only want to go 3 Adepts and then the rest Stalkers, so the Stalkers have the range. However, he's going Cyclones, so that makes it even better of a reason too. So here we see his Cyclones roll in. Little bit of just running back micro here. Okay, my mistake, I will point it out when it comes. I'll pause exactly when I made the mistake. It is right here. So my Stargate finishes and I decide to randomly start a Stalker, and the reason is at that time I was supply capped. However, this probe is about to die, so what we should have done is, I guess technically there isn't a mistake. It's right, where is it? Right, whenever this probe dies is the mistake. It does die eventually. I guess the mistake was just getting supply capped. But yeah, we want to have that Stargate tech out before anything. In fact, I probably should have canceled both Stalkers and just gone Oracle, because having something in the air against Cyclones is pretty much the only way to defend it, like 100% of the time. So even though we do pretty good at, of course we're just building Stalkers, getting our Oracle. Now the second pylon here is equally as important as the first, because what they're going to do is they're going to come in and target a pylon, just photon overcharge the other pylon. Here we have 3 pylons and 2 overcharges, so whatever pylon they start shooting at first, I'm not going to overcharge. So here, he has, if you look at his units, 6 Cyclones, and I only have 8 units on the ground. So he quickly bursted down the pylon before I could even react, and I already overcharged the second pylon. The Oracle swinging around. This is looking pretty grim for me already. I wish I would have had like a bit more stuff out. What's great though is the Oracle gets in here, and a key factor about the Cyclone is when it's shooting up, it's not shooting down, right? So the damage from ground to ground is a lot higher than from ground to air. So even if you only have 1 Oracle, if 3 of them start shooting at the Oracle doesn't die because the Cyclones don't do any damage, and then you get all you down on are pretty much shooting for free. So here we almost hold it. The only thing about this is I went Robo, thinking that I would be able to win that fight, and now I don't have enough for any Stargate units. So pretty much just go for your 3-gate Stargate expand. Go an Oracle out of it, and try to like keep the Oracle alive so it can harass later. But don't get too greedy, right? Because I didn't realize that he'd just keep building Cyclones. He's back at 5 Cyclones. This is cute though. I like this idea. If he's gonna be optimized, just really, I should have just pulled everything right now and then gone back. There's so much damage from the Cyclones. But that's okay, we're just gonna speed up. We end up trading away all of the Cyclones for Nexus and a few Stalkers on the Militia Core. It's okay. Rebuild that Oracle, rebuilding that Nexus right away. He doesn't have enough to defend anymore, or attack anymore. And then we are on to the fun part, trying to get back into this game. So we know he's meching, right? He went a lot of Cyclones, but I feel like right now if he just went bio, if he just made a sudden transition to bio, or while his Cyclones are doing damage, be building Marines, Stim, that kind of stuff, he'd be way more ahead than he is right now, because what he's building now is Cyclone Tank, which really isn't that good. Especially because I want that early robo that caused me to lose the natural, yes. But Immortals are very good against this composition. So, got a little bit of damage on the Oracle. Life is still going on, just like the previous game shown in the first video. I'm still getting my Forge at around the same time. yes, he's way ahead in supply, but it's stuff like this, like he could go well, but like he only gets one worker and he loses 3 Hellions. Like he's not trading well here. Meanwhile, again getting those upgrades. Don't forget about those. And Twilight Council. These are all still very standard things to get. Notice I have no intention on taking a third base. He's taking a third base. I'm just trying to stay alive. That's the key aspect of PvT. Don't die. Be patient. I know what he's going, because I have an observer over it, or I had. Disruptors are very good against this, and I love playing Disruptor. So I started the Void Ray because I thought he'd push with this. I realized, oh wait a minute, he turned around. I canceled the Void Ray. That money can be spent to build other things like Disruptors. It's situational things like that. Similar how to back in the old days in PvZ, you'd build a Zealot and then cancel it last minute if there's no early lanes. Why not just like use that philosophy for everything, right? I found that sometimes, like for the video I just did, if this push is really strong and I say do something dumb like forget a second robo, I'll go Void Ray out of it, like a single Void Ray, just to help hold. Keeping the Oracle alive is so important. I lost my first one, but I rebuilt it just because it adds so much value. And then a fun fact, most of you know, everything like Cyclone and Siege Tank are 2 shots from Disruptor, Aliens are 1, and Thors are 3. So basically, against mech, if you're playing Disruptor, firing shots at 2. Any more is overkill. You'll see here. He's chasing, I burn him. Once again, Stasis Ward is doing me wonders here. This is still a very scary mech ball. He has 80 supply ahead of me right now, but I don't feel like I'm losing. Personally, I think he did a good job. Like look, if these were like Liberators instead of Thors, like this push would be way scary. Again, Stasis Ward delaying these potentially game-ending Hellion run-bys. Do that. And again, just be patient. We took our third base when it was safe. I gotta give this Terran credit though. He is very active with his army, and for a mech player that's pretty rare. He's always on my side of the map pushing me, so I am feeling like threatened all the time. Here I'm gonna let my stalkers and allies just background my stalkers. It's still looking pretty good, like he's still 70 supply ahead. But the thing with mech is it takes so much to replace your supply, right? So I'm choosing the right amount of trigger shots. Once we get our Tempest out, which is always my transition in PvT, it's a lot easier now. It's a lot more straightforward. He's on the timer. He does have a lot of anti-air. Again, the Stasis Ward spotted for that push that could potentially get and we just try to stay patient, crawl back in this game. But really, as long as you're upgrading, as long as you see a caption, the whole thing better be starting at you because you're in an okay spot. I feel like every Protoss feels for me in these moments. We're going to try to go in the shot. It happens a lot when you like whenever you're or kill. But before you get incredible. I'm not gonna probe another one, I'm gonna probe one of these. It still looks pretty bad, but design is so amazing. They're so good. Like the disruptors wouldn't have been that bad if you would have just gone liberators or like any other flying unit, but even the face version. But yeah, like if you're a face coffee shop in ladder, just make sure to go disruptors against them. He thinks they have a nice design, and they really make him think. So there's your cheese defense. I didn't really defend the cheese, which was kind of the whole point of the video, but I feel like I explained how to, so that's good. And then I also showed how to crawl back versus mech against someone who doesn't want to pull the air, apparently. Now, here is a game versus a low GM Skylar. I made 2 mistakes this game that cost me it. Yeah, I did lose this game. But I'm going to be very specific at pointing out, of course, scouting timings, but also what I did wrong. So again, we're going for the 1 gate expand. All is fine and dandy. There it is. And look at me. I'm a little bit busy. Nexus, come back here. And here is another situation where you should cancel your Nexus if you're not late on your 15 scout, because if you're late on your 15 scout you can't make an assessment. But if you scouted at 15 and went right to his base and he's wall off against you, something is up. Now you don't need to go crazy. You don't need to go crazy and throw down 3 gates and Stargate. No. But just cancel your Nexus. Play to it safe. Go your normal, like basically normal gas business. But throw down an extra gateway. So go up to 2 gates. And you are going to be still on 1 base when you go your Stargate. Now, kind of playing this similar to how you would play a PvP if you're going Stargate now, minus of course the Phoenix. But again, play it safe. The pylon still goes down here. That's the same with any 1 base Terran I'm facing. I always have the pylon at the edge and the natural. The overcharge value on it's great. Like you can stall a Terran like 1-on-1 here for a while. But also, it might give them false information if expanded. Yeah, it really depends, right? So, I just see it as a way to stall while I get tech. Now, if you look at my vision, all I see is that he's walled off against me. I mean, I roughly know that it's probably some bio push, but I'm not too sure. And you just get that hunch from playing a lot of games, right? Like usually with the 1-on-1 they won't wall off because they need the minerals, but if they went gasless, they have enough to throw down that Spidey put early. Now it still looks pretty standard except the fact that he has 4 freaking barracks. But really there was 2 times in this game where I really could have held this push, and I'll point them out. So here, once again, I'm still taking that. It's a 34-ish Nexus. That was the same timing I took last game, and again, you should be able to hold it. Meanwhile, here comes Skylar, and this is normal, like the Marines, like from the 4 racks. Usually it's proxied over here, the 4 racks. So it's normal to see Marines at this time, probably even earlier. What's not normal is the SCV pull. So we're gonna have to treat that a bit differently. Now, I'll show you how I treated it. Pausing at the times where I felt I could have been a bit better. So, looking at my vision right now. So remember, this is my player camera. I see the SCVs right here. Really? If I would have fell back on the overcharge, so like here's what I did. Okay, this is fine. Should have done right here. Overcharge, shade, and then wall off with pylons, and you would win the game. And you let them you let them shoot your Nexus. You don't really need it. It's just a stall, right? Well, you get your Oracle, you get stalkers, like that stuff.
Here in the shadows.
I did overcharge. I also rallied myself into his base, and now my adepts get caught.
In the shadows.
Probably the biggest mistake of this game is I feel like at this point it's still kind of winnable. If I pull my probes and use my current forces with this Oracle, I should be able to win. However,
Oracle.
It kind of, like, if you look, the rally point's going to where it was needed a minute ago. His army's right there.
Receiving.
And we lose the Oracle. And with that, the game. So, just remember, if you ever face any weird stuff like that, just remember that he is totally all in. And don't be afraid to do stuff like wall off. Don't be afraid to do stuff like, heck, even pull probes if you have to. If you survive that all in, you win the game, right? So, I pointed out what I would have done. I'm sure there's a few creative people out there who would have done something differently, but I feel like a overcharge, get the militia core out of there, like run away with the militia core, shade with the adepts, and then just wall off when I had the chance, and that would have held no problem. So those are two kind of cheeses that you can see a lot. I didn't really hold off either of them, but hopefully you have a better understanding about how to handle cheese. Thank you for watching this video. Once again, if you haven't seen the macro side of this video, I definitely recommend it. Otherwise, good luck on that, guys. I'll see you soon.